Hello, everybody. Good evening. It's so good to see you all this evening as our group is growing and flourishing. I've seen a few of you coming in saying, "Hey, I need this." I'm hoping that you can get what you need from this group. I'm hoping that this is a good beginning to start this journey of the no more people pleasing, to stop, to break the cycles that we're caught up in with people pleasing. A lot of this journey involves introspection, and it involves taking a look at myself and trying to identify the things that are harming me that I need to change, not from a guilt perspective, but from a perspective of trying to understand more so. And we're going to hear this a lot, trying to understand what happened to me instead of what's wrong with me. Because so often the reason why we're in these traps is because we're often in some type of way asking ourselves the question or pointing out that something is wrong with me. And that's so not the issue or concern. We've been programmed to think that way. So I want to talk tonight a little bit about why I'm trapped in dysfunctional relationships. We're going to keep talking about this and until they say repetition deepens the impression. And when you've gotten enough and when you can make the change, then you don't need this no more. Right. But in the meantime, until it sits and settles, we've got to hear it. And some of the things that I'll talk about are very difficult a lot of times because for those of you all who are ready for change, it helps to awaken a reality that is going to dismiss you from this cycle and set you free. And so we're talking again about why I'm trapped in dysfunctional relationships. And so have you really taken a moment to just settle down and think about why? Why does this happen time and time again? Why is it that I can leave and remove myself from one relationship and then end up in the same type of relationship with someone else over and over again? This could be a friend, this can be a loved one, this can be a definition of how I'm handling uh, relationships from family members. Why is it that these relationships seem to mirror and mimic themselves no matter where I'm in, whatever environment I'm in? The same thing is happening over and over again. And like I said, what's different about what we try to do here in this group is we want to provide for you, um, information that's going to help that change, uh and we do it a different way. See, a lot of times a lot of attention is being focused in on the narcissists or the people who are abusing you or using you or who are mistreating you, the people who are not understanding your value. And a lot of times when you listen to other people or even some of the groups that you might be in, we're being surrounded by a lot of people with, even in this group, possibly surrounded by a lot of people with the same problems, okay, with the same scenario, same situation. And some people can help me with the same situation, the same scenario, because they have been starting to make the breakthrough. But unfortunately, many times we're used to being around people who we're seeking our primary support from people who we're seeking our primary support from people who are unhealed. We're seeking our primary support from unhealed people. And although they have good intentions, many times it's difficult for them to tell me and help me to understand and experience a win when you haven't even fixed this situation out for yourself. You're real good with telling me, and sometimes it's good advice though, to be honest, because you don't have to completely have the victory in order to give good advice. Don't get me wrong on that, but a lot of times we're limiting our information for learning and for growth to individuals who have never experienced the win. Okay. And so that's what we want to change. We want to experience and talk to people who have had the win. So you need to start that process now with the people who are supporting you. How many people are in your circle that have experienced the win? because it's a natural default for us to be attracted to people who are much like us. And that's going to be people who are not getting the wins. It just may look like that they're doing things a little bit better than me. And so that's an important thing. Who is getting the wins? And I'll just tell you from experience, I've gotten the win on these situations. I don't ever think that you're 100% clean and pure and free, but I've gotten the wins in these situations because, like the the dude that I used to be, oh my goodness, it was pathetic, you know. But I mean, I'm not ashamed of it because it was my experience. I had to understand how to draw the line, to draw boundaries, to say no, to sometimes tell people get out of my face, to understand when someone is being constructive versus when they're just being a critic, right? Some people are not constructive in their criticisms, and all they have is criticism. And these are the people we surround ourselves by. These are the people I would follow. I would admire people who look like they had more means than me, look like they had more things than me. I remember before I got married, the people that were married, that I wanted to be in their situations, and I would take stuff that I shouldn't take because I wasn't confident in my own decision making ability. Okay. I hadn't even tapped into that. And once you tap into, God dang it, look at some of the things that has happened to me now. But it was always there, folks. It's just when you have been surrounded by people who don't know how to validate you, who don't know how to build you up, people whose butts you're kissing all the time, you'll never win because, see, you're their supply. In a lot of relationships that I was in, I didn't mean to get off on this. A lot of relationships that I was in at that time, I was the individual supply. And so, someone where you are their supply, in other words, you give them confidence by you having a need to be with them. You know, you're needy. I was needy. And so I needed to be with these people that, because the things that I saw that they were doing, that was something that I wanted to happen in my life. Later, I found out that they were just as dysfunctional, more dysfunctional than me, because like anyone who is willing to just accept being followed and then want to manipulate things, and are okay with you being beneath or feeling like you beneath and not trying to build you up in those moments where where you actually were shining, and then they don't really validate that, then there's a problem, because you now, the more success that you get, and some of y'all have seen this, the more success that you experience, you become more of a threat. And so, especially in romantic situations, that narcissistic type of personality, they don't want you to experience growth. And so they're going to talk you out of growth. They're not going to want to go and get counseling with you because they don't want you to understand the truth outside of what they've been telling you. That's why many times, if you've been in a narcissistic relationship with friends and things, they'll turn you against them, against other people that are close to you, that's been feeding into you that knowledge. They'll cut you off from them, and then they'll pretend to be your God as if I'm your savior, and then they'll break you down. It's crazy, but I hate to say it, but before I converted over and was in the place where I need to be, I saw this whole stuff in a book. Friend of mine gave me this. It's like a book on like a pimp book or something. And this is what it said. I put that thing down. I thought it was gonna be one of those things that I just thought it was demonic. Just put it that way, right? Because it was literally giving you the game plan as a man as to how you can just get in situations and win by making people feel like they're nothing. And I couldn't believe it was a book. This guy I was talking to, he used to talk to a lot of women, things like that, and he was using the book. So when I'm telling you that a lot of people that you're programmed to be around, they're using the book. They may not be reading the book, but they're following the game plan. And the game plan is to keep you in position to where you feel so low and you feel so undeserving and so inadequate that you'll never realize your greatness. And like I said, I wish somebody would come and critique me now, because I want to have a conversation with you. And the stuff that I'm going to hit you with, You might not show it while I'm here talking to me, but when you leave, you're gonna be thinking about it, right? You're gonna be thinking about it because I'm gonna get in there because I know it's only an insecure person that tries to criticize someone without intentions of building them up. And this is a lot of times what we're surrounded by. Okay. We're surrounded by takers, people who are taking withdrawals, but not putting in any deposits. Now, man, I just went, okay, I got to speed up. I'm sorry. But again, we are seeking our primary support from people who are unhealed. Okay. And they're telling us the same information about what we're not. Okay. Um, so the thing is a lot of times we want to put the primary concern on the offender, but that's really a cover up. Okay, that's the thing to distract me from getting that. Like anytime we call it in the sciences in psychology, social, all this stuff, we call this the locus of control. You feel what I'm saying? So if I feel like that I have an internal locus of control, I feel like my environment doesn't control me. But when I'm having an external locus of control, I'm feeling like things around me just control me. Like I can't win. And a lot of us are sitting from a standpoint of an external locus of control, meaning that it doesn't seem like anything that I can do. And I've given up hope that I can have change, that I can make change. Anyway, so let me get back to the script here. So why so a lot of times we focus in on the narcissists or the people who are manipulating, but are they the optimal problem of concern is what we want to ask ourselves. Are they really the primary problem here? And see, this is where we kind of get into the tough stuff. Are they the primary problem here, or is the problem somewhere else? Okay. Should they be the optimal concern, the narcissist, or have I asked myself, uh, have I asked myself the question, why am I attracted to people with narcissistic traits? Manipulators, users, abusers. Let that settle. Why am I attracted to these people? Because that's what's happening. Whether they come to you, you go to them. I'm in relationship with them for some reason. And why is it okay for me to be with someone that takes advantage of me, uh, that uses me, and that deep down in my heart, I know really doesn't care about me, not enough. And if they do care somewhat, this is the other question. I'll say this a lot. Do they have my best interest intact? Okay. Do they have my best interest? All right. So if any of those was no, then we've got a problem here, and we have to reevaluate ourselves, not from the point of blame and just pure criticism, but try to understand, why is it that I end up in these situations attracted to these type of people? And many times when we start to ask ourselves that hardcore question, why am I attracted to someone who doesn't honor me, who doesn't show me respect, who doesn't prioritize my needs, who doesn't put me first, to where who is okay with me suffering? This is the reality with the people pleasing thing, right? Who is willing to take and give very little? And a lot of times when they do give, it's because, like, you ever had people that only hit you up when you know it's something coming, that they're gonna need something from me like real soon later. I ain't heard from you so how I don't know how long, but now all of a sudden here you come, and it's time. It's time. Like, you're gonna need something, and guess what? If I'm in the wrong state of mind, I'm gonna give it to you. So are we afraid of the answer? Why am I being attracted to these types of people? And so I'm gonna tell you something. It's a little scenario here. So many times in certain situations, many times in some situations, like schizophrenics. Okay. Schizophrenics, it's a phenomenon. I think they have a pretty good understanding about it, but many times chain smoke. Okay, they chain smoke. And many times they will chain smoke. The question is, why do they chain smoke? But what many say is that the reason why they chain smoke is just like anybody else, is to relieve anxiety. But a lot of the anxiety that they feel and the stressors that they feel are relative to delusions, hallucination, noises in their head, things that bring about discomfort, things that will cause them to feel out of balance, right? And so the nicotine has the tendency to silence that noise that's rambling in their minds. So when they get that hit of nicotine, it's kind of silencing the noise, and if that noise is not silenced, then they're gonna feel like they're crazy. Okay, they're gonna feel overwhelmed. They're gonna feel like unstable, hmm. Overwhelmed, unstable, not together, right? So think about the situation that you're experiencing right now. What would happen if I remove myself from the people pleasing situations that I'm in? Okay. I need you to think about that. Take a couple deep breaths. Just breathe in, breathe out. Because there's a fear behind that often. Okay. What will happen if I remove myself? What is the fear of me removing myself from these situations? And some of us are aware, some of us aren't aware because we just been doing it unconsciously. Like I talk about many times, like how many of us, we go from one relationship to another. Well, guess what? If I settled and didn't move right into that next relationship or that next friendship, or I didn't go help and save this child or this brother or sister or mom or dad or addicted somebody, like if I did not do that, I would just be stuck with myself and a lot of noise. So a lot of times the people pleasing situation is to settle the noise. What we want to do right here is help you how to learn how to identify how to settle the noise in a different way. And it doesn't have to be scary. Matter of fact, it's a rewarding situation. Like you're feeling empowered as you go through it because you're being connected with you. You're being able to identify who you are and no longer being afraid. Like, ooh, and I've talked about this. The one reason why they can keep you locked in, I gotta hurry up. The one reason why they can keep you locked in is because they play with your fears. They play with your fears that they'll leave you. They play with your fears where they told you nobody will ever want you. They play with your fears they told you was ugly. They play with your fears will tell you you're not a good mom or good. No, they put all this stuff in your head. Okay, they shut off phone calls when you say no. So then that's the program. You don't ever do that again. Okay. But see, when I no longer have these fears, because now when like now, like now, look at what I'm doing, right? Now I'm in a situation of influence. Whereas before I was chasing, and I'm not ashamed to admit to it. I was chasing. Okay. I was chasing to find something that I thought I didn't have. And I thought I had to kind of buy into it. Like I gotta sell you something to prove that I'm worthy. This was just in relationships with friends and things like that. It's like, look, you know what I'm saying? Like I've got to show that I've got something besides me. Now it's like it's either me or hit the road. Like I don't care. I mean, like I literally, and I hate to say this, I literally have so many friends and associates that, and it might sound bad, but I can't really have no more because I can't keep up with you and then keep up with my family and then, doing these lives and doing the business and I got a whole nother Facebook. Like it's a lot going on. This right here is for mission. I was called to do this. I don't know for what period of time. Y'all will be able to determine that, but I'm here to touch people while I'm here. And I'm hoping that things move to where we can continue to do that. Because this is just what I do anyway, right? And so the thing is this. Um, am I afraid of the answer? Am I afraid of the answer to these questions? And Uh, am I having this underlying fear about removing myself from people pleasing situations? And so, what are some of those fears, real quick? Sometimes we fear a loss of identity. I have been so enmeshed in you that, oh man, this happens a lot. This happens a lot of the folks I'm treating. You know, it, I'm so enmeshed in making you front and center that I no longer have an identity. I no longer know what I even want anymore, because I was talking to one client. They couldn't even go anywhere without thinking first how that spouse would feel about being there. So you can't even go work out by yourself because you have to think about the spouse being there, what's going to happen when you leave. Like, there's no autonomy. Okay. So a loss of identity because I've made you front and center, because I never thought, hate to say it, but I never thought that I was worthy of being an equal or putting me first. You are your first priority. Okay. So abandonment, afraid of abandonment. Okay. I'll be unable to replace this person. That's a big one. Okay. Unable to replace this person. Lonely. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you are lonely for a little while. But the thing is, once you shake that thing, once you sit and settle in it, once you start attracting a different level of people. The people that I was attract, they talked about people like they were so lame. Like, I remember conversation, like they talking bad about people buying Walmart ice cream. Like, I mean, this the kind of insecure people. Like, man, god dang it, if I want to get some Walmart ice cream, that's what I'm rolling into. And if I want to bring that to the potluck, then so be it. I'm probably not gonna do that, real talk, but not to the potluck, but I eat at home. But anyway, so that's another thing. So inability to survive, that I'm not gonna have any help no more. Who's gonna help me with these kids? But who's helping you with the kids now, for real? Like, you just got a body, a warm, cold behind body, right? Anyway, so the healing uh fills that void. Everything that you're fearing that will happen, that the healing fills that void concerning identity. It fills that void concerning abandonment, because I'm no longer, I don't have no fears of nobody abandoning me. Okay. I just don't have fears, but I don't have fears about my wife abandoning me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that would be a terrible thing, and I would go through a crisis, but I don't have fear about that, because I know I'm doing all that I can do. I know my value, I know my worth. So, like, if I gotta be in a relationship with people that I gotta chase, then you not for me. Okay. Lonely. So it fills that void, and the healing process. Let me tell you, it's intoxicating. I can't tell you how many of my clients that, once we learn to get them to start saying no, we got to pull them back, because everything be no. It's like, man, you got to let them get some out their mouth first before we just say no, because it's like, dang, I just didn't even know the power of no. And I always warn them, it's like, you're going to be saying no so much, and then you're going to be angry about it and just saying no, because people have fooled you about your need for them. Anyway, we got to close up. So this is the thing, man. Like I said, I'm going to be introducing some of our coaches, and y'all better catch these people, because I hope I can hold on to them. Some people starting their own practice, all this kind of stuff. Hold on to them while we can, and get you in. Um, and so, if you feel the need, some of y'all not ready. And that's all right. That is okay. Some of you just need to keep listening. But some people are ready to make that move. And if that's you, you could just put in the chat coach, and we'll get to you. We'll get you into our program and try to support you with being able to reverse this cycle. And it's not that difficult. And so that's gonna be it. We're gonna leave it right there, man. But look, I hope that this is helpful. Like, if you gotta sit and settle in this, replay it, bring your girlfriend, whatever, to just hear it, because this is what I'm giving people, some of these ideals here, and this is what's helping people to get the breakthrough. But you got to be willing to face it so that you can stop the cycle. You got to be willing to not smoke. You got to be willing to not pacify, but to try to find out what's going on up here, because that makes you whole, because now you're one with your thoughts. And once we're whole and one with our thoughts, we can start correcting them instead of judging them. All right, I'm out of here. We'll see y'all again next week. Wish y'all the best and take care. All right, bye.